Here's a snippet of what's to come. Trump talking about Epstein's victims like they were his property.
You worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
You want to talk about a real legal scandal? Real actual corruption? Here it is. Over 1,000 confirmed victims, billions in house settlements, years of investigations, and still not one new name. The Epstein case has now officially crossed from corruption into farce. This is a con man and a liar in charge, and he's given the middle finger to the concept of justice. They promised everyone names, they promised transparency, and instead, the Department of Justice released a memo that reads like it was written by a PR firm for billionaires. Their new theory? Jeffrey Epstein acted alone. He trafficked for himself.
Breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
What kind?
A lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable.
Yeah, but apparently not shocking enough to do anything about it. Because now we're supposed to believe Epstein was just moonlighting as a one-man trafficking operation, while being a financial genius by day, a tax wizard, a lone wolf, a phantom billionaire, somehow drawing in princes, presidents and tech moguls for what exactly? Financial planning? Let's be clear, this memo was gaslighting on a historic scale.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
Even Trump, a man whose idea of subtlety is a gold toilet, was hinting at what everyone knew at the time. But now we're meant to believe that there's nothing to see here, nothing in the flight logs, nothing in the settlements, nothing in the redacted FBI files.
200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually.
They found over 1,000 victims and apparently not a single perpetrator. Not even Prince I don't sweat Andrew. They say Epstein acted alone while Prince Andrew settled for $16 million. Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million for tax advice, then paid the Virgin Islands $62 million to avoid prosecution. Jess Staley, the Barclays CEO, openly emailed Epstein about Snow White and Beauty and the Beast. That isn't metaphor. That's code to allow them to do very depraved things.
People, and because he took people, I say, don't do it anymore. You know, they work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end of him. I didn't like, when they steal people, I don't like it.
When asked if these workers were young women, Trump said yes.
Were some of them young women? Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
And this theory falls apart on its own paperwork. The government's own indictment in 2019 said dozens of victims, then it became 250, then the Epstein review found later over 1,000. So the number of victims has increased tenfold, but the number of offenders went down to 1. That's narrative control. They're trying to change the story right in front of you as if everything they said just a few weeks prior didn't happen. This is the sheer arrogance and audacity of these con people, of these liars. They know video exists. They know they said the complete opposite just a week or two ago. They know you can see it. But they will just carry on as if what they're saying now is what they've said all along. And if you believe this, you shouldn't be allowed to use the internet. You might just harm yourself.
The DOJ says it found no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, concluding Epstein did not maintain a client list that he used to traffic underage girls. It's a striking reversal of a past statement by the head of the Justice Department, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Bondi has faced fierce criticism from some Trump supporters after she promoted the February release of a series of Epstein documents that were already publicly available, with some far-right figures calling for Bondi's resignation.
They want you to believe that Epstein was just misunderstood, that he operated in total isolation, but his connections go everywhere. Bill Gates met him after his conviction. Prince Andrew also met him after his conviction. Epstein's close friend, Jean-Luc Brunel, was accused of trafficking women and mysteriously died in jail. The FBI's own vault documents are redacted to the point of all that's left to read are the ifs, the buts, and the maybes. There were tapes, there were names, there were documents, and now there's a lone trafficker theory.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox News.
I've got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
They want you to believe when they say Snow White, they mean Disneyland. When billionaires pay millions in settlements, it's just coincidence. When files go missing, it's for the victim's sake. If you believe any of this, you're an idiot. You're a Trump supporter and a defender and protector of a child trafficking ring. Keep that in mind the next time you open your mouth in defense of this scumbag.
DOJ and FBI right now with the guys who we're all close to, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. Do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
In 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump. But now Trump has become the deep state. What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles?
It's insulting our intelligence. Like, obviously, the intelligence community is trying to cover it up. Obviously, the Trump administration is trying to cover up.
So that's it? No client list? Epstein killed himself? No further investigations? Case closed?
These people are right to feel used and lied to. Pam Bondi told Fox News in February that Epstein's client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now to review. She said there were, quote, tens of thousands of videos that would expose the truth. And what did we get? Nothing. Literally nothing. This week, the DOJ released a memo saying there is no client list, and also that Epstein died by suicide, and also that they're not releasing any more documents.
Here's what this is. Institutional protection of power. Epstein was useful. He had leverage. And now the people he might have compromised are free. Their reputations are intact. Their crimes are buried because justice in the US isn't blind, it's bought. And the most disgusting part, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're mocking you with this new memo. Mocking survivors, mocking the public, mocking the idea that the truth even matters. This isn't just about the Epstein files. This is about every corrupt executive, politician and billionaire who walks free while whistleblowers, journalists and survivors are ignored, jailed and even have their car mysteriously sped up by its own, run into a tree and burst into flames. They want you to believe Epstein acted alone. Don't let them trick you again. If you are as insulted by this as I am, share this video because silence is exactly what they're banking on. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.